Part 65. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 642. Sister Qing looked at the child sitting next to Jinli. Picture. So similar. Anyone who has met Lu Zhenjie and this child in front of him will find it difficult to say that the two of them have nothing to do with each other. She looked at Jinli and winked, meaning that what we're going to talk about later, what are you bringing this child to listen to? Of course Jinli understood her hint, that is, she knew what she meant, that's why she called Lu Zhenjie over. She looked sideways at the cub Lu Zhenjie. Look, now the whole internet thinks that you are Lu Zhenjie's son, that I'm flattering you and wanting to be your stepmother. What do you think? Sister Qing. Are you asking so directly? Cub Lu Zhenjie. But his focus was very clear, stepmother? You and Lu Zhenjie, are they really partners? He thought Jinli was lying to himself. But looking at the comments on the internet, could it be true? His reincarnation in the world, and fairy Jinli? The bases of his ears started to feel a little hot again. Jinli corrected, I haven't reached the level of a partner yet. Boy and girl, boyfriend and girlfriend, you know? No, he is my ex-boyfriend now, that is to say, now you and I, and Lu Zhenjie, know what's the matter. Cub Lu Zhenjie. Sister Qing, who was sitting and listening. Wait a minute, what is an ex-boyfriend? Didn't Mr. Lu accompany you on a trip some time ago? When did you break up? Could it be? She looked at Lu Zhenjie in shock. Could it be that Jinli had a strong personality and couldn't afford to suffer, and when he found out about the existence of this illegitimate child, he proposed to break up in anger? The more she thought about it, the more Sister Qing felt that it was very possible. So the question is, since they have broken up angrily, why does Mr. Lu's son still appear at Jinli's house? Jinli. She raised her forehead angrily, please stop your imagining, Ms. Yeqing. She pointed to the cub Lu Zhenjie, you and Sister Qing explain your relationship with Lu Zhenjie. The cub, Lu Zhenjie, was a little dissatisfied. In his heart, what did he have to do with his reincarnation, Lu Zhenjie? What did Lu Zhenjie have to do with Jinli, and what did it matter to these mortals? However, Jinli looked at him as if waiting for him to explain. Cub Lu Zhenjie, so annoying. But he was not happy in his heart. After taking a look at Jinli, he turned his head to look at Sister Qing, with a hint of displeasure on his delicate face, I'm not Lu Zhenjie's son. Sister Qing, huh? There was disbelief in her tone and expression. Even Jinli was waiting to hear what reason Lu Zhenjie would make up. Then the cub, Lu Zhenjie, sat there with a sullen face, and after saying this, he closed his mouth. Sister Qing couldn't help asking, then why are you so similar to Mr. Lu? What's your relationship? The cub Lu Zhenjie raised his eyes and glanced at her, what's the relationship between me and Lu Zhenjie, and what's the relationship with you? Sister Qing choked. The corner of the cub Lu Zhenjie's lips twitched coldly, when will I explain my private affairs to irrelevant people? Jinli. Sister Qing. For a moment, Sister Qing felt that she was overwhelmed by the aura of a child. 7 or 8 years old, a child. She glanced at Lu Zhenjie in horror. Jinli was also a little surprised. This little pixie can only act cute in front of her. It turns out that if you are serious, you can bluff people. Cub Pixiu, there are 2 types of people in this world, Jinli and others. 2 more, see you tonight. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 643. Sister Qing didn't ask any further, because the cub Lu Zhenjie really didn't look like he was willing to cooperate. Instead, she started talking to Jinli about the endorsement contract. The cub, Lu Zhenjie, didn't quite understand, but he was still working hard to listen to the conversation between Sister Qing and Jinli. Well, Jinli is going to shoot commercials for human beings and make money from it. When Lu Zhenjie heard Sister Qing say that K.D asked to sign Jinli for 1 year, and he had to shoot X commercials within a year, and attend XX events as a spokesperson, and blah blah, how much is the endorsement fee? When it was time for money, I finally couldn't bear it. He tilted his head and looked at Jinli. Do you have to work so hard for a year to earn this little money? Sister Qing, who was sitting on the side, was confused by the adjective such a small amount of money. So much. So much. She couldn't help but said, K.D's endorsement fee is already very high, and most of the domestic first-line stars have not received this price. Lu Zhenjie snorted disdainfully. Is this a question of money? He emphasized. Who is Jinli? It's an honor for them to be their spokesperson, but they still have so many broken demands. Sister Qing. Jinli felt that this sounded very comfortable. Jinli the cub. Lu Zhenjie tugged at her sleeve. Why don't you stop accepting that endorsement? I can give you this much money, and you don't have to do anything, just let me live here, it will do. The little cub, Pixiu, felt very sad for Jinli. Tiandao's most beloved little fairy, came to this world and had to work and earn money to support herself. It sounds really miserable. Sister Qing sitting opposite. Now I kind of believe that you are not Lu Zhenjie's illegitimate son. How could an illegitimate child think so wholeheartedly about someone who might become his stepmother? However, this style is so inhuman that it is indeed very Luya. Jinli smiled and touched the cub's head. Lu Zhenjie was a little unhappy and frowned, but let her touch it anyway. Never mind. I heard that she and the reincarnated self are boyfriend and girlfriend. The reincarnated self is also the self. To round it up, she is also his girlfriend. Let her need if she likes to need. The little Lu Zhenjie was a little puzzled and thought in his heart, but, how do boyfriend and girlfriend get along? I don't know, forget it. Just do whatever she wants. Thank you, but the endorsement still needs to be filmed, Jinli said. Why? The cub. Lu Zhenjie was puzzled. Jinli touched her face and winked at him. Did you forget? As I said, I want more people to see my face, to make more people like me, and to be popular all over the world, international. Oh. She wants to collect golden energy to restore divine power. Understand? He nodded with a serious face. Then you go. Sister Qing sat across from her, looking at the serious communication between the big and the small in front of her, and found it very puzzling. What does a child of 7 or 8 years old know? Jinli actually talked to him seriously? However, it's time to make sure. Before leaving, Sister Qing did not forget to say, if the hot search is a misunderstanding, then you and Mr. Lu should clarify it quickly, lest it will become more and more troublesome, which is not good for both of you. This refers to the fact that it is said on the internet that he is his illegitimate child who was reincarnated. The cub, Lu Zhenjie, understood. Jinli nodded. Okay, don't worry, I will take care of it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 644. Wait until Miss Qing leaves. Jinli rubbed his chin and looked at the young lady beside him. The cub Lu Zhenjie was a little uneasy when she saw her, and he asked vigilantly, what do you want? Jinli, you also heard what my manager said, you have to clarify your relationship with your reincarnation. Cub Lu. He looked like he hated iron but steel. Your personality is too good. If you ask you to clarify, you will clarify. Jinli spread her hands. I don't know what to do. I'm in this world now. If I don't accumulate enough golden energy sooner, how long will it take me to return to the heavenly realm? 2. Pitiful. Then do as she says. Just, How to clarify? They were all alone. He can't conjure up another Lugenja. Wait. Come out as Lugenja. As soon as the cub Lu's eyes lit up, he raised his hand and felt from the pocket. This was not a real pocket, but just a cover-up. He rummaged through his pile of things, found a piece of wood, and threw it out. As soon as the wood fell to the ground, it quickly grew in size and turned into a tall human figure, exactly what Jinli had shown cub Lu, the human Lugenja's appearance. It's just that he is just a dummy made out of wood at the moment, standing there coldly, like a silent sculpture. Before the cub Lu could speak, Lan Ting came out with the fruit, and saw Lugenja standing by the sofa at a glance. Lan Ting. Papa Lu is back. She glanced at the door suspiciously, but didn't hear anything. After washing some fruit, Lu's father moved so fast. She said, "Hello, Mr. Lu is here, please sit down." However, it is always impossible for the fake wooden bully to respond to her. He still stood there coldly, without even turning his head. The originally peaceful atmosphere in the living room was stunned, but this wooden statue created a sense of tension. Lan Ting glanced at him suspiciously. Seeing the cold profile, she then glanced at Jinli and her cub, Lugenja, who were sitting on the sofa. A fierce argument and cold war immediately filled her mind. "No, it is not suitable to stay here for a long time. I'm a little sleepy. Go back to my room to catch up on sleep." "Jinli, call me if you have something to do," she said quickly, rubbing oil on the soles of her feet, and slipped away quickly. Jinli was very satisfied with the girl's sense of humor, and it happened that what they were going to talk about was not suitable for other people to be present. He conveniently set up a barrier to ensure that the chat would not be heard by others. Jinli looked at the icy Lugenja standing here, and looked at his face twice with nostalgia. Alas, such a handsome face gone, I still miss it a bit. Her expression could not escape the eyes of the cub Lugenja. He glanced critically at the reincarnated self's face twice, and said proudly, "After all, it is the shell of a human being. Even if it is my reincarnation, it can still have 3 parts of my demeanor." Jinli agreed with this. Lugenja's appearance in the world was already the pinnacle of human appearance and temperament. Lugenja, who has recovered his real body. Although he only took a quick glance and said a word, Jinli had to admit that the cub, Lu, was not boasting. Jinli has been in the heavens for thousands of years, and what the immortals have seen is unmatched. She held her face. At that time, she fell in love with Lugenja, the face of Lugenja who had recovered his real body. But there is no need to tell the other party about this kind of thing now. Let this little guy not be embarrassed. 4 more. See you later. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 645. She pointed to the wooden Lugenja and asked, "What did you conjure up a person for?" etc. She widened her eyes, "Don't you think so? Use this wood instead of a real person?" The cub Lu glanced at the wooden Lu and asked, "Just say, does he look like it?" Jinli nodded, "Like. Just look at the appearance, it is really like. Just like it?" The cub Lu stretched out his hand and pointed at Mu Mu Lu again, and a ray of light sank into Mu Mu Lu's body. At this moment, Mu Lu live. There was light in his eyes, and he moved. Jinli watched him turn around, looked at herself, and smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth. "Jinli, I miss you so much." Jinli looked at him seriously for a few seconds, then turned around and patted the cub Lu on the head. "Don't let him say such things, I don't like to hear them." "Why?" Cub Lu was puzzled, "Isn't he like this when he faced you?" "But, the person who said that to me with this face is a fake," Jinli sighed. After sighing, she looked at the cub Lu. "Why am I telling you this? You are a child, and you don't understand." "Cub Lu," he said dissatisfiedly, "I am already 3,000 years old. According to the calculation of the human beings in this world, I am already the ancestor of the old immortal. Jinli laughed. You also know that this is a human algorithm. You are a Pixiu, but not a human being. According to your Pixiu's age, you have just been weaned, and a child should look like a child. Kublu. It's a matter of dignity, he emphasized, we Pixiu don't need to drink milk. Since he was born, he has inherited memory, inherited divine power, and can hunt. Coupled with the care of him from heaven, and the care of divine beasts such as Doughty and Yazi who are much older than him, he is enough to live well. It's not a weaned child. Jinli coaxed him, yes, Lu Genja is a very powerful beast, so he's no kid. Kublu. This perfunctory tone didn't pay attention at first. But since she is his girlfriend, forget it, don't bother with her. Kublu thought very generously. He pointed to Lu Genja who was sitting on the sofa, although you can recognize it, it's impossible for those mortals to see through my spell. Just ask him to clarify. What about me and him? Yes, take a video to clarify the relationship. Is it okay? Jinli nodded, alright then, you can log in to your Weibo account to clarify, and I'll reply to the netizens as well. Kublu, okay. But I'm not very good at playing with this kind of mobile phone. You can teach me, he said. Jinli said it was okay. Kublu took out his phone. President Ba's private mobile phone does not have a lock screen password, because no one can see the existence of this mobile phone except himself. Jinli took the phone and taught him, this is Weibo, click on it, it's an automatic login without a password, just right, huh. Her hands froze. Because the personal homepage on the screen did not show the aloof Lu Genja who had personal certification. It was an account with an ID called LZYAI Jinli. LZY, Lu Genja? Small. Lu Genja actually has a Weibo account? Jinli was a little curious. With a flick of her finger, the page slid down. The most recent one is a reply, Brain Trolls Retreat, Jinli's beautiful, kind-hearted little fairy does not accept rebuttals. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 646. Jinli's heart skipped a beat. She continued to scroll down. This trumpet, except for the occasional disconnection, almost every day will post a post similar to today is also a day I like koi. Then, he would gossip and praise him in all kinds of Weibo related to Jinli. He can fight with Hiza, and although he is not very good at cursing, his tone is serious and terrifying. No matter who saw this kind of account, they would think it was Jinli's diehard fan. If they were so serious, they would look like they were young. Who would have thought that the person behind this account would be a recognized, noble and glamorous overlord? Kublu didn't know much about Weibo, and didn't worry too much about it. Seeing that she had been seriously checking her phone, she asked her, "What's wrong? Are you still okay?" Jinli looked back at him with a bright smile, "It's okay, I just saw something interesting. This seems to be your trumpet. I'll switch accounts." And Kublu nodded obediently. Jinli clicked to switch accounts, and when she switched accounts, she saw that Lu Genja had more than one account. She ignored it for the time being and switched to the officially certified large size. Pass the phone to Kublu, this is it, just say what you want here, and that's it. Kublu finds this troublesome. He asked Jinli to take a video of himself. Video content is simple. A handsome young lady with an indifferent face said solemnly, "I am not Lu Genja's son." Gone. It matched his cold face very well. Then, the camera turned on the wooden Lu Genja. The wooden Lu Genja also looked at the camera with a cold expression, "I have no illegitimate children. In the past 20 years of my life, I have never had any woman around me who can bear children for me. Please don't speculate. I like it Jinli, I will only like her in my life." Turning off the video, Jinli was a little surprised. The previous sentence of denial was discussed between the two, but the latter sentence. She didn't say it, that was Kublu's own idea. She asked the Kublu, who coughed lightly, well, the reincarnated me really likes you very much. There is nothing wrong with letting him say that. He has no selfishness. Jinli didn't expose him either. She posted the two videos together on Weibo. Not surprisingly, as soon as the video was posted, it was flooded with countless comments. Kublu didn't bother to read the comments. Jinli was not in a hurry to post a comment, but took out her phone, forwarded Lu Zhenji's news, and sent a heartfelt emoticon. As a result, the fans who followed Jinli also exploded. Mom. Father Lu's response was always quick and forceful. What about the faces of those who were sneering and swearing? Where is the face? Will you, it's right to hold back and not say anything. Father Lu didn't let us down. The Yalai party is locked. Wow, the previous photos are not very clear in this video. This young lady is too good looking, right, kneeling to debut. If it grows for a few more years, it will definitely reap a lot of hearts. Although he denied it in person, the people in the two videos really look alike. It is too much to say that father and son are both like one person. Agreed, although speaking like this is very inflated, I feel that this child is like a high-profile version of the Jingtai version of Lu's father. Asterisk. There is a lot of discussion on the internet. Neither Jinli nor Kublu paid much attention to it. Kublu really doesn't care about these mortals. Jinli was waiting for the night to come. Overlord's trumpet fell off the line online. 6 more. One more chapter. See you later. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 647. Normally, time flies by quickly. But when you really want it to go quickly, you will feel that every minute and every second is extra long. Jinli felt that way now. She wrung her fingers and waited and hoped. Night finally came. Kublu seemed to know what she was thinking, so he didn't go to his room, and sat on the sofa with a stern face, not very happy. You want to see him, he said with certainty. Jinli stretched out one hand loosely and leaned against the cushion on the sofa. She squinted at the Kublu. Who is he? Kublu snorted, me at night. He's pretty clear now. Your daytime self is completely different from your nighttime self. According to Jinli, the self at night is the self with a complete memory. At night, he knows that he can know everything that happened during the day. But he has no idea what he looks like with complete memory, and how old he is. Just thinking about it makes me angry. Jinli didn't want to fool him either, so she nodded, I have something to ask him. I want to ask something, not want to see him. Kublu did not deny that he was slightly pleased by the statement. He tried his best to sit on the sofa and stare wide-eyed, trying to make his other self wake up later. But after all, it can't resist the instinct of the body. Jinli watched the little Jingtai's head start to move little by little, and then he leaned on the sofa and fell asleep. He fell asleep. Jinli walked over and started calling Lu Zhenji's name. However, it seems that the little Jingtai who fell into a deep sleep cannot be woken up by conventional methods. Jinli thought about it, didn't shout anymore, took out his phone and played a small game to pass the time, waiting for Lu Zhenji to wake up by himself. She waited for about half an hour. The person on the sofa opened his eyes by himself. He was still a boy of 7 or 8 years old, but as soon as he opened his silver-gray eyes, Jinli knew that the Lu Zhenji he was waiting for had recovered. He was obviously a little surprised that he would wake up on the sofa, but this surprise only lasted for a short 2 seconds before it became. He thought of the things he did during the day that only the cub remembered. Because of posting a Weibo, the trumpet was exposed. Lugenja, may I change my body now, can I be cute and pass the test? However, he did not have this opportunity. Because Jinli had already looked at him and smiled. Come on, sit here. She patted the seat beside her. Lugenja glanced over, and in her other hand, what she was playing with was her personal mobile phone. All those little secrets that belonged to Lugenja were stored in this small phone. He walked over slowly, sat down next to Jinli, and waited for the public execution. Jinli didn't waste time either. She turned on the phone and handed it to him. When I was posting on Weibo during the day, I accidentally saw your alias, you know that? Lugenja nodded silently. Jinli squinted at him. I can't tell, Mr. Lu, who is aloof, still has such a, unrestrained look in private. When confronting the trolls, those who confessed to the little fairy were quite unrestrained. Lugenja probably gave up on himself. He heard the words and didn't make any excuses. He broke the jar and said, the coldness is towards others. I can't be colder towards you, Jinli. If I wasn't afraid of scaring you, His silver grey eyes sparkled. He took Jinli's hand, and put it on his heart. The enthusiasm in this is enough to melt you. 7 more complete. Looking for a monthly ticket recommendation ticket, good night. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 648. This is really a provocative confession. If the grown-up Lugenja spoke out, he might easily win the heart of any woman. But Lugenja forgot that he was not the tall and handsome adult Lugenja, but a cub who looked only 7 or 8 years old. Confession effect -100,000. Of course, the most important thing is actually not this point. The most important thing is that the person sitting opposite him is a little fairy who must not be treated with common sense. Hearing Boss Ba's sincere confession, Jinli's first reaction was to pull his hand away suddenly, with a vigilant expression on his face. Why do you want to melt me? Lugenja. He raised his forehead in frustration. Forget it, if you want to ask anything, just ask. Jinli shook the phone in her hand. It was an accident that I saw your account, and I only saw a little content of the registered account. I didn't read the rest, so, can you tell me, what exactly is your account, how many trumpets are there? She is a little fairy who respects other people's privacy. Lugenja. He originally thought that Jinli had already read the contents of the phone, so he just gave up on himself. So, the truth is, Jinli didn't even look at it. So, the outcome of the matter was going to be public execution in front of Jinli? He looked a little embarrassed. Otherwise, you can watch it together in the daytime tomorrow. If I have no memory during the day, it won't be so embarrassing. However, Jinli had waited so long just for the evening. How could he let it go so easily? No way, she said with a smile. I was just waiting for you to tell me. Lugenja looked up at Jinli. He saw persistence in Jinli's eyes. The boss backed down. He took the phone and clicked on Weibo. That's it, just 4 small accounts. The division of labor is quite clear. A trumpet is mainly used for confession. A trumpet infiltrated into Jinli's fan base and kept an eye on fans' updates. A small professional troll, pulling countless hatred. There is still one. Jinli was sitting next to him, listening carefully and laughing, occasionally watching some comments on Weibo with great joy. Seeing him stop suddenly, it was a little strange. There is another one, what is it used for? Hey, don't block it with your hand, show me. Lugenja held onto the phone tightly, and said in a low voice, the last trumpet is my diary. It is full of my yearning and longing for you. Jinli was taken aback. She blinked her eyes and probably guessed something. She coughed dryly. If it's inconvenient, then I won't watch it. After she finished speaking, she withdrew her hand and expressed her position with actions. With such a concession, Lugenja felt much more at ease. "There's nothing you can't read," he said casually. "You've read all the trumpets, and it's nothing to read a mood diary." He handed the phone to Jinli. "Look." Jinli took the phone hesitantly, but couldn't bear the curiosity and clicked in. This account's Weibo was unexpectedly rushed. There is no photo album, no likes and reposts, and no spam with others. There are only one line at a time, either simple or long, as Lu Zhenjie said, mood diary. The most recent one was a week ago, when they were still in Sun Country. "I encountered a shocking accident today, but it was a blessing in disguise, and I was able to sleep in her room. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess." Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 649. Obviously, this diary is based on time. She slid her finger down, all the way to the bottom. The first Weibo. "On June 30th, work was over, I was bored and saw her reality show. My vision was really good, no matter where she was the most dazzling one. July 1st, isn't the rock bigger than a person really fake? July 3rd, the beloved star was sent back. I don't even know what she likes. On July 10th, Bai Yan invited several chefs from different cuisines to come. It turned out that I also had a day to learn cooking for a woman, but it doesn't feel bad, but a little bit of expectation. On July 13th, I bought this real estate, and I can be her neighbor. July 17th, I dreamed of her for the first time. She was so cute in the dream. The point is, she also liked me in the dream." Jinli looked all the way down. Lu Zhenjie's diary is not gorgeous and complicated, but very simple and direct. But in this way, his mood is also intuitively expressed in these records. From repulsion to liking to pursuit. Lu Zhenjie, who was sitting on the side, looked very calm, but the sneaky glances at Jinli's face from time to time still betrayed her. What would she think? Think I'm stupid? Still feel a little moved? Lu Zhenjie was thinking wildly, waiting for Jinli to speak. Jinli quickly read through these mood diaries. She put down her phone and looked sideways at Lu Zhenjie. "So, you have had unreasonable thoughts about me so early?" Lu Zhenjie said softly, "I never hid it in front of you." Jinli was surprised, but it was not wrong to think about it carefully. It seemed that Lu Zhenjie had never concealed his interest in him since the first time they met. It's just that, at that time, the little fairy was all focused on how to get back to the heavens, and she didn't care about this human being in her heart. Therefore, of course, it is impossible to care about his thoughts. Jinli thought about the contents of the phone, couldn't help but rubbed her face, and said with a smile, "To be honest, I'm still very moved after reading it." She looked at Lu Zhenjie seriously. "It turns out that there is someone who has secretly liked me for so long." In fact, this meant that she was moved by him because she already had Lu Zhenjie in her heart. If these records of Lu Zhenjie's mood were seen before the little fairy liked him so much, Jinli probably wouldn't feel touched, but would feel uncomfortable. Humans, what is the intention of paying so much attention to Xiaoxianyu? However, no matter what, the result is good for President Ba now. Lu Zhenjie breathed a sigh of relief, and quickly gained an advantage for himself. So, can the ex-boyfriend become a boyfriend again? Jinli was taken aback. Did he remember what he said casually that day? She laughed, and under Lu Zhenjie's expectant gaze, she hugged the sweet-smelling young lady and kissed him hard on the face. Then, under Lu Zhenjie's delighted gaze, he smiled and shook his head. "No, when you recover your real body, come talk to me about this topic again." Lu Zhenjie. Jinli stretched out a finger and shook her head. "I don't want to fall in love with a child who is 3,000 years old." Lu Zhenjie. No more salty fish. It's time to study how to restore strength quickly. 2 more. See you tonight. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 650. After reading the Weibo, Lu Zhenjia heaved a sigh of relief. However, this is not the end. With a move of Jinli's hand, it moved to the photo album. Lu Zhenjia suddenly became nervous. He blinked and looked at Jinli. "Can I watch it?" Jinli asked him. Lu Zhenjia, "Yes." Can he say no? If he can't, he just refuses. If he refuses, the little fairy will be unhappy, and if the little fairy is unhappy, he will also be sad. Never mind. He looked at Jinli in despair and clicked on the photo album. No surprise at all. Jinli saw a lot of herself on it. Still photos, official announcement photos, and live photos. Most of Jinli's eyes were familiar, and they were all posted on her own Weibo, and there were many refined pictures that seemed to be sent out by the official announcement. Lu Zhenjia actually saved them one by one. In addition to these, there are a small number of live photos. Jinli in these photos lost the refined high-end sense and became everyday and lively. These were probably Lu Zhenjia's own private goods. Jinli flipped through the pages and asked, "I don't know so many photos of me. When did they take them secretly?" Lu Zhenjia immediately clarified himself, "I never followed you, nor did I mean to pry into your privacy, I just. Can't help it," Jinli said it for him. Lu Zhenjia, "Yes. It is indeed involuntary. I can't get tired of seeing every look of her, I think it's beautiful, and I want to remember it firmly, keep it in my heart, and don't want to miss it. It's so easy to admit it." Jinli was surprised. If your current appearance is seen by your fans, they will definitely lose their fans. Lu Zhenjia also had a large fan group on Weibo, and its size was no worse than that of ordinary fresh meat. His fans praised him as rarely delicate and masculine, possessing noble arrogance and restraint, and a born king. Many fans liked Lu Zhenjia's cool and abstinent character design. No one would know that the emperor in their hearts, who was cold and unscrupulous, would do things for a woman like an idiot in private. Hearing Jinli's words, Lu Zhenjia didn't care at all. If you take off your fans, you will take off your fans. They don't like me, but a shell called Lu Zhenjia. And only you can see me like this, Lu Zhenjia said. His aloofness was never feigned. It's just that after meeting Jinli, the ice melted into a colorless flame, driving him crazy. After reading the album, Jinli asked, "Is there anything else in the phone that I don't know about?" Lu Zhenjia lowered his head, "Yes." So under his signal, Jinli clicked on a certain video software, and there were more than 700 videos in the favorites. Neatly, it is all grains produced by Yali CP powder. Lu Zhenjia himself didn't make many appearances on the internet, and his photos were even rarer. Fans who can find out and make videos are definitely true love. These more than 700 videos can be found almost all over the internet, and all the CP clips of the two are there, no matter how unpopular. Lu Zhenjia proudly rewarded each grandma with 10,000 yuan as encouragement, but those fans still looked dazed and didn't know what happened. Except CP video. And fanfiction. This one is more, a little bit of that, cough. A few gigabytes of briefcases. All kinds of small jokes, fan derivative articles, forum articles. As we all know, a lot of content in fandom is not so harmonious. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 651. When Jinli reached out to open the briefcases, Lu Zhenjia had a sharp eye and a quick hand to stop her. Jinli. Meeting the suspicious eyes of the other party, Lu Zhenjia said euphemistically, "This is some fanfiction in the entertainment industry. Many of the authors are students, and the writing style is not very good. You should not read it." "I can see that you are lying to me with this reason," Jinli said with certainty. Lu Zhenjia. but Jinli really didn't click on it. She returned the phone to Lu Zhenjie. Since you don't want me to watch it, there must be your reasons, so I won't watch it. Lu Zhenjie heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. Just don't look at it. Jinli glanced at the time. After all this trouble, it's not too early. She said, it's almost 11 o'clock, it's time for bed. Go wash up and go to bed early. No matter what it looks like inside, at least now Lu Zhenjie looks like a 7 or 8-year-old child. Jinli was a little embarrassed to make him stay up late. Lu Zhenjie thought for a while, then obediently picked up his phone and walked out. Jinli looked at his back, still a little surprised. Huh? Did you go to the guest room by yourself today? It's not like Lu Zhenjie at all. However, this is not the case. Lu Zhenjie went out and made 2 phone calls. At 11 o'clock, many people are already asleep. But not including those guys who are drunk and dreamy, such as his 2 idiot brothers who like to spend time and drink the most. Hello? Brother, why are you calling my brother at this late hour? Lu Zhenjie instinctively rejected such a noisy place with mixed fish and dragons and poor air circulation. When he spoke, his immature voice had automatically changed into the voice of an adult Lu Zhenjie. He said coldly, you hinted that the child is my illegitimate child on Weibo, how courageous you are. Brother. The man on the opposite side was startled, pushed away the beauty who was approaching, walked to a remote corner, and said with a smile, what are you talking about? What implying an illegitimate child? I'm just responding to those netizens, that child is not us relatives of the family. Lu Zhenjie sneered, is it true, only you know. The boss of the Lu family opposite had a smug smile on his face. He felt that Lu Zhenjie had nothing to do with him. But before he could say something complacently, Lu Zhenjie spoke again. Besides, is it important or not? He said every word, brother, do you know where Dad is now? Isn't this enough to make you sober? I think you have ulterior motives, so you have ulterior motives. I will tolerate you one last time, Anan take the shares and dividends in front of your young master of the Lu family, spend time and drink everywhere, do whatever you want. Only one thing, put away your self-satisfied cleverness. Otherwise, I am busy with work and cannot be filial in front of my father. Eldest brother, as the eldest son, it is right for you to serve yourself in front of you. The boss of the Lu family shuddered, and an ugly smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Look at what you said, what the elder brother said was unintentional is unintentional. We are brothers in our family, why are there so many twisted thoughts? Lu Zhenjie had a cold face, elder brother doesn't need to say these things, just remember what younger brother said. He hung up the phone, called Lu's second child again, and repeated the same words. 4 more. See you later.